This is Channels Television. You're watching the news at 10. ITEL Mobile has unveiled an upgrade of its existing Supermax Power flagship series, the ITEL P.3 and P.3 Plus. The smartphones come with an upgraded camera, memory, security and other unique features. The mobile manufacturer says its customers are paying less to get much refined smartphones.
ITEL Mobile is launching a new breed of smartphones, ITEL P.3 and ITEL P.3 Plus. With the upgrade of its existing P series, ITEL says it is pushing the boundaries of smartphones innovation and design. Long-lasting battery, larger storage configuration and artificial intelligence technology are a few of the phone's unique features. The uniqueness of the brand's new products is highlighted with the theme and slogan, "My Power, My Hero." Before the unveiling of P.3 and P.3 Plus, ITEL representatives take guests at the official launch through the company's track record and the phone's unique features.
We have been to expand global presence to over decades. And we were also considering our consumers' pain points to provide more friendly price budgets and reliable, affordable, good quality products for our consumers.
We launched today the P.3 and the P.3 Plus, and they come with a 4,000 and 5,000 milliampere battery respectively, and they also come with the innovative AI Power Master, which optimizes the battery to give you more power usage.
The sleek new P series is attractive with varied color options. ITEL calls P.3 and P.3 Plus a breakthrough in smartphones technology. Aside producing budget-friendly and high-quality phones, the smartphone manufacturer says its strategy of retaining a huge market share is intact.
In the coming years, we will focus on what we've been doing before that have made us quite successful, and we'll try to bring out devices that are reliable, that are trendy, and most importantly, that are affordable, because those are our key selling point as a brand.
Gentlemen, and that is your product.
With the phones unveiled in a bubbly and heroic-themed atmosphere, ITEL believes it has created a product with a unique user experience.
Well, time now to bring you up to speed with development in the world of business with Coyote in our Lagos studio.
You First. First Bank.
Thank you, Ibrahim, and you're welcome to Business News. With effect from January next year, public companies and some other private organizations will begin to comply with Nigeria's Corporate Governance Code, and this is in line with requirements by the Financial Reporting Companies of Nigeria. The FRC gave the hint at a meeting of the Institute of Directors of Nigeria, where experts shared technical input on the draft code, which has been deemed as not mandating its application on companies. And global players in the plastics and rubber industry are of the opinion that Nigeria's Dangote refinery and petrochemical establishments will be a leeway for growth in the polymer sector. Aligning the plastic and rubber industry with the refinery, the foreign investors seized the opportunity to enlighten operators on why Nigeria must be mindful of sustainable development and circular economies.
Getting done with some of our students across the world. Some of the things that they're coming up with.
And out to other stories now. After 3 successive sessions of negative trade this week, the all-share index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ends Q1 of 2019 in the green territory. Teniola Shobowale has a summary of the day's trading activities.
Hello and and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The Nigerian stock market ends the week on a bright note, with the main index crawling back above the 31,000 level. There was also a slight improvement in the total equities capitalization at 11.672 trillion naira. On the sectoral chart, the oil and gas sector saw the highest increase of 4.84%, while the consumer goods and the industrial goods counter ticked higher by 2.30% and 0.18% each. 14 stocks posted gains, with Ikeja Hotel, Eternal Oil and Seplat all advancing by over 9% each. On the flip side, Union Diagnostics led 16 other decliners, which include Qtix and Fidelity Bank. Fidelity Bank also made the list of the most actively traded equities for the day, as well as CHAMS and UBA. At the end of the session, 2.66 million shares had been sold in more than 3,000 deals, amounting to 3.15 billion naira in all. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I'm Teniola Shobowale.
Thank you, Teniola. The World's Global Money Week comes to an end today, with the Junior Achievements Nigeria Executive Director, Mrs. Simi Nwogugu, calling on state governments to do more in expanding financial literacy at the secondary school levels. Speaking with Channels Television, Mrs. Nwogugu says entrepreneurship will thrive in Nigeria only if the government creates the enabling environment and remove regulations that stifle innovation.
When we look at what's getting done with some of our students across the world, some of the things that they're coming up with, it's because in their classrooms they have access to technology. From the age of 5, they're coding. And so Lagos has gone a long way with Code Lagos and things like that, but majority of our states are still far behind in terms of just even getting young people to embrace technology, to be innovative and to design thinking. So we would like to see more states embrace the design thinking and some of the programs that we're bringing, digital skills training, so that these young people understand innovation from a very young age. By the time they're teenagers, they're coming up with these things that are just easing the flow of business, easing financial transactions, easing even the way, from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, easing your day, with productivity tools and things like that. So we think if there is one thing that we would like the government to get from this today, is that we need to develop digital skills in our young people. And by doing that, we need to work on infrastructure, we need to build ICT labs in schools, we need to update our curriculum, and then we need to let them just be free to embrace innovation. And then when we see people, and this is a conversation I have with CBN all the time, that when you see young people who are coming up with brilliant apps for fintech, embrace them, incubate them, and let them, because at the end of the day, it helps everybody.
The global markets ended the week on a profitable first quarter on a positive note as U.S.-China trade talks resume, despite recent volatility. Well, let's see to these numbers. And that's Business News for tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Kayode Okikiolu.
As British MPs reject for the third time Theresa May's Brexit deal proposal, let's get a wrap-up of the international news. Joyce Ohaja is standing by in our London studios with Round the World in 5.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom in London. The Brexit process has been thrown into further turmoil after the Prime Minister's withdrawal deal was rejected for a third time.
The ayes to the right, 286. The noes to the left, 344.
It means the UK could crash out of the European Union with no deal on April the 12th. or it could ask for a further extension as it considers its next move. The European President, Donald Tusk, has called an emergency EU summit on April the 10th.
Mr. Speaker, I fear we are reaching the limits of this process in this House. This House has rejected no deal. It has rejected no Brexit. On Wednesday, it rejected all the variations of the deal on the table. And today, it has rejected approving the withdrawal agreement alone and continuing a process on the future. This government will continue to press the case for the orderly Brexit that the result of the referendum demands.
The House has been clear. This deal now has to change. There has to be an alternative found. And if the Prime Minister can't accept that, then she must go, not at an indeterminate date in the future, but now, so that we can decide the future of this country through a general election.
An estimated 20,000 people turned out for a remembrance service near the site of the mass shooting in Christchurch in New Zealand. Marking 2 weeks since the mosque attack, the names of the 50 victims were read out. And wearing a Maori cloak, the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, called for an end to the cycle of extremism.
What words capture the anguish of our Muslim community being the target of hatred and violence? What words express the grief of a city that has already known so much pain? I thought there were none. And then I came here and was met with this simple greeting. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you.
More than 100 cases of cholera have now been confirmed in Mozambique's capital, Beira. To prevent the disease from spreading, a vaccination campaign will begin next week, with health authorities hoping to reach 800,000 people in areas destroyed by Cyclone Idai.
We're trying to avoid an outbreak of cholera at the moment. We expected this, we were prepared for this, we have doctors in place, so this is what we're doing at the moment.
A preliminary report into the Boeing 737 MAX crash in Ethiopia has found that an anti-stall system was activated before it went down. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, citing people who are briefed on the investigation. The plane crashed earlier this month, shortly after takeoff, killing all 157 people on board. The number of people killed during flash floods in Iran has risen to more than 40. The country's president, Hassan Rouhani, has promised compensation to all those who've been affected by what he described as an unprecedented natural disaster. Venezuela's opposition leader Juan Guaido has pledged to continue his campaign to oust President Nicolas Maduro, despite being barred from public office for 15 years. Financial irregularities were given as the reason for the sanctions. He's called for fresh protests against Maduro this weekend. Israeli soldiers and tanks have amassed on the border ahead of the first anniversary of the weekly Gaza protests over land rights. Nearly 200 Palestinians, including children, have been killed and thousands injured during demonstrations over the past year. Organizers in Gaza are planning another massive protest this weekend. The head of a news website critical of the Philippine president has been freed on bail hours after being rearrested. Rappler Chief Executive and Time Person of the Year, Maria Ressa, is accused of violating foreign ownership rules on media. She was arrested just minutes after arriving in the country from the United States.
I posted bail. The 7th time I've posted bail. The 2nd time I've been arrested. It's obviously clear I am not a travel risk, right? Because I came home even after the new charges were laid out and the arrest warrant was issued.
Mexico is on alert following an increase in volcanic activity near the country's capital. People are being warned to stay away from the area after 200 minor eruptions were recorded over 24 hours. A massive column of ash was sent 2,500 meters into the sky, and hot ash and rocks could be seen spewing from the volcano through the night. And finally, a happy ending for a herd of baby elephants. Thai officials came to the rescue after 6 of them were trapped in a muddy pond. Stuck and unable to get out, officials dug into the slope, making their escape slightly easier. Slowly but surely, they all managed to get out onlookers cheering as the last one finally found solid ground. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
What a story. Many thanks indeed, Joyce Ohaja. Well, still held on the news at 10. Nigeria's Super Falcons climbed to 38th position in latest rankings of women's football playing nations by FIFA.